Hello and welcome to the Crooked Letter Sports Podcast, the show about Mississippi sports and the folks who play them. I'm Tyler Cleveland from Scorebook Live, Mississippi. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host Rick Cleveland of Mississippi Today fame. Dad, long baseball weekend, and we've kind of wrapped it up, but how'd you do?
How'd I do?
Yeah, well, you played golf most of the weekend. I just want to know how you hit it.
Oh, I played pretty well, actually. But, I was watching baseball a lot. I watched a lot of baseball. Ask your mom.
Oh, I know. I'm aware. She complains about it constantly, and naturally we're not listening. So you got to see all of Friday and Saturdays. Saturday morning, you saw the games, right?
Yeah.
It was Sunday morning you played golf. So you missed like the Mississippi State and Southern Miss bouncing back. But other than that, you saw all the baseball over the weekend. What was your impression? And did you expect anything different?
No, it turned out exactly the way I thought it would. Tennessee, prevailed at Knoxville as you would expect them to. And Virginia and Mississippi State had that Saturday night Mississippi State-Virginia game was a classic.
Yeah, I thought that one was super competitive. I really enjoyed, watching both teams, and they kind of assumed their final form of what I thought they would be to start the season. I really do. I still think that Mississippi State, if they had found a way to win that second game that you mentioned, they're talking about Saturday night, not only would they have gotten to a Super Regional, but they would also gotten to the College World Series. I thought they were that good at the end of the year. The roster was, and then you add in the fact that the 3 and 4 hole hitters that were slumping so bad, they came alive in the regional, and I just felt like, man, here we go. They're hitting on all cylinders, and then a couple of unfortunate innings. I mean, it was I think if you took the total amount of innings this series in the regional and took out like 2 or 3, Mississippi State was the best team in that regional. So, and I was really happy. But Sunday morning was cool to see Southern Miss and State both fight back and get into that championship round of their respective regionals. But Tennessee just way too much. I mean, those guys. I mean, they're the number one team. I mean, they're to me, I think they're the team to beat.
I think going into the College World Series, they are the team to beat. I think they're so good at the plate. I don't know. I mean,
Texas A&M pretty damn good.
Texas A&M's pretty damn good too. I think they're the two best teams.
Yeah. Well,
Virginia's pretty good. Everybody in the lineup hits over 300. Most of them are up around 350. Their pitching is not probably where Tennessee's and A&M's is.
Tennessee, man, they just run out those relievers, bro. I mean, I'm talking about they just, the starter gets in trouble in like the 4th or 5th inning, and they bring in some dude that throws like 95 from the left side.
Or
and
99.
Then, right, and then they bring in the next guy, and he's hitting triple digits, and like they've got 2 other guys that, flamethrowers just warming up in the – I mean, it's just a lot to deal with. And, I thought Southern Miss played pretty well. The bottom line is, and I posted this on Twitter, is that Mississippi State is going to have some holes to fill after the draft, some big holes.
Sure.
Now I know, but that's the nature of college baseball these days, and you're going to have to reload. I think the future is a lot brighter at Southern Miss, but then we've got the transfer portal, and who knows what's going to happen there. We've seen it happen with them before, where they were going to have a great team coming back, and then 1 or 2 key pieces go somewhere else, and things are different. And we're going to get into that a little bit, because I think everybody's heard the rant from Gary Gilmore, outgoing Coastal Carolina coach Gary Gilmore. I thought he made some good points, so we're going to listen to some of that and get into it a little bit. But before we do that, I just wanted to, what do you think about the futures of both these programs, and just looking at it way too early prediction? I mean, how do you think they'll be able to rebound from this?
Let's start with Mississippi State. I think a lot will depend on how they do in the portal, because they've got, Dakota Jordan, he's gone. Hunter Hines, he's played out his.
He's eligible, yeah.
The pitcher who throws with both arms, whose name I cannot pronounce.
Sinji.
Yeah, Sinji. I can't imagine he'll be around. Tyler, he's electric, man.
I know. That's why I thought they had a chance, man. They had, I've said it before on this show, they just looked good getting off the bus, and you knew the talent was there. It was just a matter of whether they would put it together at the right time.
I mean, you can say it about a lot of pitchers, but you can especially say it about him. When you get him against wood bats, as hard as he throws, with as much movement as he has, he's going to be a beast. He is going to be a beast.
Oh, I know. He's going to, I mean, at the highest levels.
And then I wanted to make a point about Southern Miss, and I think if you were going to pick a Coach of the Year in Mississippi, my goodness, what a job Ostrander did in his first year. I mean, they win, 41, I think. 41, 42 games, whatever it is they won. They won their conference tournament. He inherited a team where he's replacing 70% of the lineup. He loses one of his 3 starters mid-season. He loses his best left-handed stick before the
Pato.
Carson Pato, before the conference tournament. And they just keep on rocking and rolling. I mean, I just think he did you can't say enough about the job he did.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's got it. But the big thing is going forward for them, I think, is going to have to be, and I think signing Ty Long is a good start. But they just got to find, a couple more pitchers. I mean, when you get into the third game of a regional and you're starting your closer, it lets you know that. Yeah. I mean, they basically had 2 starters they could rely on, or they felt good, playing an elimination game with, and just got to expand that out a little bit. And losing the pitcher has a lot to do with that, to the injury. But
we're losing 2 of them, actually.
Need as many as you can get your hands on.
But
so
the other thing they lose, and a word needs to be said here about this, is Slade Wilkes. I mean, my God, what a senior season that guy had.
I remember when he had signed, they were, waiting on the draft and kind of sweating with him, and he came and was a fantastic player.
He ends his career having hit safely in his last 36 games.
That's strong.
Yeah. With power.
With power. And did not, and probably had a chance to transfer somewhere.
Oh, he did.
And did not.
He did.
But
several of their players did.
It's going to be few and far between going forward. But now that we've talked about the teams, we're going to play this clip from Gary Gilmore. This is, after Coastal was eliminated.
Let me introduce Gary Gilmore. He's been there like 25, 30 years. He's won 500 games. He won a national championship at Coastal Carolina. So he's a guy who knows a little bit about college baseball.
Yeah, he's retiring, and he basically went off. I mean, it's about a 2.5 minute, answer to a question about the state of college baseball, and we're just going to play a little 30-second clip from it, so you get the kind of a taste of what he had to say.
I mean, this is me as a college coach. This is what I have to deal with. You can sign your returning players to a scholarship which binds you to them, but they can come around in July and go, I'm going to go in the portal. I'm up in the Cape, and somebody's going to give me a big NIL deal, and you were held accountable, coach. You had to honor that scholarship you gave me, but now I'm going to go in the portal and leave you hanging. That's a messed up system. I hope somebody fixes it. I'm be honest with you, that part I'm going to enjoy to be very honest with you.
All right, let's go to the back here.
The first minute of that, but what preceded him saying what we just heard him say was him saying that in college baseball, every player is a free agent every year. If it was the same way in professional baseball, you would just have the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers. The big money, big market teams would be the only teams that ever won. It's pretty much gotten that way anyway, but it would definitely be that way.
Well, I've talked about it at length before, but, I think Major League Baseball had to make some changes. When it was kind of wide open and you could just pay the luxury tax and move on. I mean, the Yankees were just baking it into the cost of doing business. And that's what you'll see college baseball teams do. If you tell, I think we were talking about it off air, if you tell, 100,000 Texas A&M grads that money equals success.
Guess what?
You're right. They're going to spend the money. I mean, that's just how it is. And another point is that if there's not he said he hopes somebody fixes it, and I'm on board with that, because if it left unchecked in its current state, it will keep going up. This is the U.S., buddy. We love capitalism. They will keep spending more and more and more money each and every year until the point where they will have to split off, like we're looking at in football, where they'll have to split off the haves from the have-nots, and you will not have your Coastal Carolinas winning the College World Series or your Evansville Purple Aces in the Super Regional round. It's just it's baseball, so it will happen occasionally, but those stories will become less and less prominent, and eventually you'll just see it go away altogether.
Well, we've seen it here. We've seen the effect that it can have here in Mississippi as much as anybody's seen it anywhere.
And that was in year one.
Yeah, it was last year when, what Gilmore was talking about, being in the Cape in July and August and finding a player and losing a player at that point. Southern Miss last year lost Hurston Waldrop to Florida in the last week that you could
of the portal.
The last week of the portal, you lose your number one starter. All right, there's no time to replace him. I mean, you've lost the biggest piece of your puzzle with no time to place him. So Southern goes on and comes within one game.
One Super Regional win against Tennessee.
Yeah, they lose best 2 out of 3 against Tennessee and don't go to the College World Series. Meanwhile, Florida, with Waldrop as its ace, goes to the championship series of the College World Series.
Yeah.
And I don't know the amount of money. I've heard different figures, but it was significant. They bought away to the College World Series.
Yeah, and that was, and like I say, you could say it's anecdotal because it's one case, but like I said, that's right in our backyard and in year one.
In year one, yeah, it's going to get.
Imagine what it'll look like 5-6 years from now if left unchecked. So I think they've got to do something to rein it in, and I don't know if it's a. I mean, hell, we're paying them like professional athletes. Let's have a salary cap, or let's do something. I mean, there's got to be some kind of.
How about compensation?
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, I know, that's what you do in Major League Baseball. You sign somebody else's big free agent, you got to compensate them.
Yeah,
you get compensated in the draft.
Cash consideration.
Yeah, I mean but there's no checks and no balances in college sports right now. And we're talking about college baseball, which is the least probably affected of all the, quote, major sports.
So far.
But it's changing, yeah.
Right. Well, and I know that there is a segment of college fans out there who, I mean, let's just face it, the majority of college baseball fans are, I would say, especially at the D1 level, are fans of these teams, the haves. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of them that are saying, well, I don't want to watch a Super Regional with the Evansville Purple Aces in it. You know what I mean? They don't want to, I'm sure if it was their team, they'd like to see that in the Super Regional.
Well, the flip side of that is that those minor or conference teams, or whatever you want to call them, group of five, or, call them whatever you want to, the have-nots,
the mid-majors,
are what have made college basketball's March Madness. I mean, the upsets that happen, in college basketball, that's what's made the tournament. That's why everybody loves it so much. That's why, the Cinderellas.
Oh, I know. I'm watching LSU and Wofford, and suddenly I'm like the biggest Wofford fan that exists. I mean, that's what I want to see, is Wofford beating LSU in the college baseball tournament. Of course, it didn't happen, but it would have been cool, and it was fun to watch. So
yeah, at one point on, I guess it was Sunday, you had Southern Miss from the Sun Belt just blasting Big Ten Indiana. You had Louisiana from the Sun Belt just cold-cocking Texas. You had Coastal Carolina beating another Power 4 team. I can't remember which, but that kind of thing is not going to happen as often as we go down this NIL road.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And I think surely, I mean, I don't know what will have to happen, because I feel like the NCAA doesn't have any teeth. And I don't know if that's something that gets fixed.
The NCAA is just begging federal government to take
do
control.
something.
Yeah.
Well, and I've said this in this space before, but I feel like they could have gotten out ahead of this. They put a lot of resources into fighting this, the NIL and the courts and stuff, instead of trying to get together a system that would compensate the players fairly.
Yeah.
For, let's say, 20 years since the Ed O'Bannon case started. So, I don't know that I have a whole lot of – I don't blame them wholly. I guess I'm just kind of remiss that we've got to this point. I will say this, though. Southern Miss baseball is in good shape. Mississippi State baseball is in good shape. Ole Miss baseball will likely rebound. I think all three of these programs are positioned in they're in the best position to weather this as well as possible. I think Ole Miss and State definitely have the resources, and Southern Miss has the personnel in place to be able to kind of navigate it and stay competitive. But yeah, I'm like you. I think somebody's got to do something. But the only thing scarier than the NCAA trying to fix this is the federal government trying to fix it. I mean, that's terrifying. I mean, these guys are the biggest collection of idiots I've ever seen. So I don't know. I don't maybe, but other than the NCAA committees that they put together.
The guy that they're in Congress or in the Senate that is everybody looks to for guidance on this.
Don't even start with this. Come on, Pine Box.
No no hints here. But he coached at Ole Miss and Auburn.
Well, I can't.
I know. Let's don't even start.
All right. Dad, what else is going on in your world, sports wise, this week?
I'll be watching the Super Regionals. I mean, none of our teams are in it, but I still love college baseball. I'll certainly be watching that. Going to play a little golf.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do that too if this rain will hold off.
Shot my age yesterday.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. There you go. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, when you get as old as I am.
I was about to say.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, I'd like to shoot my age on a 9. That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful. Well, I'm hoping to get out there with you.
Maybe this afternoon.
Well, let's see. Let's see how it works out. Yeah, Dad, before we get out of here, though, I just want to give a shout-out to the Belhaven softball team. They beat the number 1 team twice in a row to get to the Division III College World Series. We're recording this on Tuesday morning. They're playing at 11, so we don't know the outcome of that yet, but a pretty cool story there. Where'd they go?
Just getting there.
46-8, something like that?
Yeah, but here's the other thing that makes them even more interesting locally is that the coach's son happens to be the number 1 high school baseball prospect in the country.
That's Connor Griffin's dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's very cool. I didn't know that.
Yep. Well, it is the case. He's been a busy guy this spring.
I guess so. Yeah. I'm guessing he gets to watch Connor every now and then.
Yeah, but he missed missed more than I'm sure he wanted to.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to the Blazers, and hope they represent there at the D3 College. Where is the D3 College World Series?
I think it's in Marshall, Texas.
Marshall, Texas. Wow. Breaking out the big destinations for the D3 Softball World Series, but we'll be cheering them on. So we've got that. We've still got them kicking. We're not dead yet. Dad, when that's over, we're done for the year. What are you going to do this summer? Cover the portal? I'm
going to let you cover the portal.
I'm not covering the portal.
I'm going to play golf.
Yeah, if there's a portal in high school, I'm out, buddy. That's it. I'm gone.
I am going to be pricing air-conditioned golf carts.
I'm telling you, man, people ask me all the time if I go to, do you ever miss covering, college sports like you used to? And I'm like, if it was like it used to be, then yes. But the way it is now, no. I mean, I'm covering the last pure form that exists. The public schools at the high school level is the last bastion of amateur athletics. And I don't know if
you still see a few quarterbacks transfer.
You do. You see it, but there's rules in place, and the whole family has to move, and it's a whole thing. If they want to go to those lengths, then go ahead, knock yourself out. But you can't just willy-nilly decide you're going to go from Lewisburg to Biloxi, or from Murrah to Meridian. You gotta move.
Yeah, but you can go from West Lauderdale to Prep in a heartbeat.
You can, but that's, like I said, that's public and private, so it's a different story. By the way, they do that.
I know.
It happens. So I'm kind of glad to be where I'm at right now, and I'm not covering the portal, to answer your question. That's not happening. I'll watch it and I'll curse it or I'll cheer it, depending on what happens, and we'll go from there. So,
well, I'll tell you one guy who's not cursing it: Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and Mike Bianco, if they want to get back in contention, he's not cursing it either. And it's not like they don't have money to spend. They just got to go find the guys and just go to Hattiesburg and pick off like you're looking at a menu. It's rough. So, but anyway, we'll keep you guys up to date on that over the summer. We don't have anything else to do, so we'll be here. Everybody have a good week out there. That's it for us. Stay safe if you're traveling. Get to the beach if you can. If not, I'll see you on the golf course. Have a good one, everyone.